Dracarys.
We've passed on all we know. 1,000 generations live in you now. But this is your fight.
Father's lightsaber. This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight. Not as clumsy or random as a blaster.
What's up, Headless Horde? Welcome back to another Sunday Night Live. This is it. We are starting our Star Wars, I don't even know what you want to call it, our own saga. We're starting tonight, and we won't end until the end of Mandalorian Season 3. It's going to be epic. What's going on, Chatty Chat? Christina Payne, what's going on? Donald Mother Lomax is in the house. What is good, Arcade? What's going on, man? Thanks for being here, everybody. I'm going to bring on my guest right now. And you guys all know this guy, right? This is Droid Milky 2023. What's going up, my friend? That's the whole stream right there. He's going to talk like that the entire time. It's going to be a hell of a breakdown.
I'm wearing my Yoda slippers, my stoned Yoda slippers.
Heck yeah, they're stoned.
The Force is with me. And he did say in this movie, two of them there are, an apprentice and a master. So, you know, which one's the apprentice, the left foot or the right foot? Which one's the master? We don't know.
We don't know, because we don't know which one was killed, the master or the apprentice.
Exactly.
All right, so I hope everybody did their homework. Your homework was to watch the Phantom Menace. Now, if you head over to Ryan's Instagram, and he already linked it, I see, you can submit questions there, and we will answer those questions. Or you can also just throw the questions in the chat, and that's cool too.
But we're going to try something different. When Headless is hosting, you can send me questions to my Instagram. There'll be a story post every single Sunday. And when I'm hosting on Monday, I'm hoping I can send a post to Headless, and he can post it on his. And then on Mondays, you can send the questions to him. And then he can come with the questions on Monday night, and we'll do it that way.
Yeah. And that way, if you are watching it and you think about a question that you are curious about, and it could be a lower question, it could be a question just about the episode, it could be a question about what happens in the future and why something happened. That's really what makes Star Wars the most fun, is to kind of think about why certain things happen and, how it affects the future.
I've got 6 questions already, so.
You have 6 questions. Fantastic. Yeah. And there's definitely a couple things I want to touch base. I actually just rewatched it last night, so it's pretty fresh in my memory. I've seen this movie probably 25 times, if not more. So I know it pretty well. But there's definitely a couple things I want to talk about too. A couple of theories I've always had. But yeah, what's going on, Fungo? How you doing?
Hey, buddy.
But yeah, so we'll start off like this, Ryan. So you watched it, and when is the last time you watched it? Beside this time, it's probably been a while.
I've probably seen this movie 5 times.
Okay, so that's not bad. So you know it pretty well.
Yeah, it's I don't know the correct terminology, and I'm sure I will know at the end of this movie marathon. But I think it's prequels, right? These are
Yeah.
prequels.
Yep.
I like the prequels. I'm a fan of them.
Okay.
So we'll get straight off the bat from there.
Good.
Yeah. It's gotta be 5 years. It's gotta be.
Okay, so it was a good refresher to watch it again.
I think maybe even 10 years because I can't remember watching it in Scotland. So I think this last night was the first time I watched it in Scotland, and I've been here 10 years.
Okay, so hey, I'm gonna let's do this. So we'll kind of break this down because we're not gonna like go through the entire movie scene by scene by scene like we typically do with television shows. This is way different. So I'm gonna just come up with some talking points and we can kind of discuss. And again, Chad, if you have any questions or you want to weigh in on anything, please let us know. All right, Arcade, thanks for stopping in, brother. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Arcade.
Yep, we'll see you again. That's for sure.
We'll stop over and hit the like on your stream when you go live. Thanks, brother.
Yep. So the first question I have is, so we're introduced to a character in the Phantom Menace that many deem to be one of the worst characters in Star Wars. But if you do find yourself talking to big prequel fans, they tend to like this character. So in the beginning of the movie, after they try to go negotiate with the Trade Federation, Qui-Gon runs into Jar Binks. So rewatching this, what is your opinion of this character?
Where do you want me to go with it? Do you want me to go from a general watching a movie standpoint as a character, or what it more represents, knowing more?
I mean, so break it down first, like as if you are watching the movie, and let's say like the first half of the movie. What are your thoughts on Jar Jar? And then we'll talk about what you know afterwards. We'll do, because they can be different opinions.
They can be, yeah, and obviously because we've been breaking down these shows, you know, my understanding of shows and watching things jump out to me a bit more and things. And so when I first originally watched it, I loved Jar Jar. I thought he was funny, he was quirky, he brought a bit of comedy to the show because it did feel quite serious. You know, it started off with like political stuff and these Jedis, and they were cool because they had the lightsabers, but this was like the funny animal. You know, I always liked the funny, quirky things in Star Wars. So yeah, I kind of liked him.
Okay, so I after watching it again, I can't stand him. I think he almost ruins this movie for me. It's too over the top. You know, when I think back to the original trilogy, we have R2-D2 and C-3PO. They're almost kind of like the you know, the comedians, and even Han Solo to a point. I find Jar Jar just super annoying, and watching it last night again, I literally want to forward his scenes because it's just too much. You know, the perfect example for me is in the middle of the war. Like, and I get it. Okay, so you know, remember, Star Wars was always made for kids, so and so, blah blah blah, whatever. But like in the end of the movie, when they're like battling, it's just random things, and he's just being goofy and ends up killing people. And how like in real life, this dude is dead. Like, you know, I don't know.
It's funny because we've just watched Willow, as everybody knows, and it's just finished. Yeah. And I kind of get like he's the Mad Mardigan of the group. When I watch him, he's jumping around being silly and doing stuff and getting away with it. You know, the stupid roll dives across when you don't need to do them, and that kind of stuff. That especially on that scene when I know what you're on about, when he was fighting the droid and he's flicking on his foot and he's killing people. It's comedic, but no, I completely get what you're in for the standpoint of seriousness within Star Wars. It doesn't fit.
It's to me, it's just over the top. And you know, and then moving forward, there's a reason why George Lucas took him out of the next two movies for the most part, because he's definitely not in those movies. I mean, he's in Attack of Clones a little, but he's definitely in like Revenge of the Sith. I literally think he has one line and that's it, or maybe two, and that's it. Like, there's a reason why he took him out, because he got crushed for that, because it was too much. And I don't have a problem with the CGI character or anything like that because I mean, he's all CGI. I know I'm at best did the best he could with that, but I know again, like he was getting death threats over this character.
Yeah, and that's why I was saying to you about where do you want me to go with it? Because I like Jar Jar for the aspect of he was the very first ever CGI character in television history.
Yeah.
So without Jar Jar, we wouldn't have the things that we have today. And, he kind of is the holding for that. And that's why I like him as well, because I know that knowledge now. But I didn't know it when I first watched it. So, and LJ, welcome in, buddy. Happy birthday. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, happy birthday, LJ. Everyone, let's get some cake emojis going. Some cake. Mm-hmm. It's LJ's birthday. He just turned 24. Congratulations.
So can you give him any credit for being the first ever CGI character?
Oh, absolutely. And what's going on, Matt Studio? How you doing, man?
Matt Studio, welcome in.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I totally respect the actor. I mean, it's not his. He did the best he could with what was written. It's just George tried to get so crazy, trying to have that all CGI character. And another character who I can't stand is Boss Nass. And again, just so many random. It's so weird. It's just weird to me. To me, that part of it doesn't even seem like Star Wars. I think they're so over the top.
Without the character Jar Jar, and I'm going to say this, without the character Jar Jar, we wouldn't have had the dragons in Game of Thrones. We wouldn't have had all these CGI characters. But I said, could you give the character any credit? And you went, yeah, the actor's good.
Yeah, I hate the character.
You just will not give Jar Jar any good word, will you?
It ruins the movie for me. I would rather instead of having Jar Jar and that whole Boss Nass stuff, I wish they would have done something a little bit different. And I wish they would have just had I personally think it was really weird that Anakin's the one who built C-3PO. I always thought that was really strange. It just didn't make sense. It was just odd, And yes, okay, later on we'll figure out they got their memory wiped again. Easy, that's an easy fix, whatever. But I always thought that if Jar Jar would have been played by C-3PO, we already had that character. Because I don't know. And I know he wanted to make new characters, but there's so many new characters in the prequels. It would have been nice for C-3PO to actually been in that movie for more than a couple scenes. R2 gets his time, but C-3PO really doesn't. I don't know. I agree. I always, like when I'm watching it, I always think, man, that was C-3PO. It'd be so much better. And I know that he, kind of saves the day at the end, whatever. When he gets, when they're working on the pod and his head goes in the whatever. Oh my god, dude, it's so cringy, man. And it's just cringy before cringy even became a word.
Look at the chat. Everybody's popping off tonight. Hey, Patrick from Pops and Props. Welcome in, buddy.
What's up, man? Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I mean, like, and for me, when the prequels came out, I was probably me and Ryan were just talking about this a couple days ago. It was 99, so I was already in my 20s, and I loved the original so much. Now, listen, don't get me wrong. I like the Phantom Menace. Darth Maul has got to be a top 5 character for me, even though he's literally not even in the movie that much. But what they've done with him in, heck, even in Solo when he pops up, spoiler alert, but all the Clone Wars and when he's in Rebels, that's really, I love how they built upon that character, a character that we barely knew.
I didn't even know that, so it makes me want to watch it even more.
Yeah,
I mean, know more was in them.
Like, honestly, like that's one of the main reasons why I say like Rebels is worth the watch, because you get all that cool Darth Maul stuff when he comes back. And I mean, I think he ends up coming back in Clone Wars, though.
So spoiler, he's not dead.
In Clone Wars, he does come back in Clone Wars. But yeah, he's in Rebels. Darth Maul is awesome, and then you kind of see him get a rematch, and with Obi-Wan, it's really, really good. So
do they explain the fact that he is chopped in half?
They go through all of that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Chat, is it Clone Wars or Rebels that he gets the legs, his spider legs? I'm like forgetting. I'm trying to hit all these comments here. Pops and Props says Jar Jar gets a lot of hate. I get what Lucas was trying to do. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I said. It's just too over the top. I would have liked that. I would have liked that part to go to like C-3PO, or maybe another droid. Even though I love that C-3PO and R2 were in it, I mean, that was you have to do something, just like they did in the sequels. Dr. Mad Studio says the prequels may not have been perfect to some people, but I love them for what they are instead of hating for what they're not. No, I agree, dude. Because I'm not. Don't listen. I'm not hating on the movie. The Phantom Menace. I remember one time. This is like years and years ago. This is probably back in like 2000. Oh gosh, when did Force Awakens come out? Ryan, was it 16? I think it was 16.
You're asking me.
Yeah, no, I think it was 16.
I'm here to learn.
So it was like 7 years ago, and that's probably the last time I literally watched like one movie per day. And I was leading up to the Force Awakens. I wanted to watch all of it, so I watched all 6. And I remember doing a ranking of all the movies and stuff.
Force Awakens was 17th of December 2015 for me in the UK.
So what year was it?
2015.
It was 15, so 8 years ago. Okay. That's why I'm really excited to do these lives, because I'm able to watch these movies. I'm probably not going to watch them all in a row like I did back then, leading up to Force Awakens. But this for me is probably like I wish I had my list in front of me. I don't, and it probably has changed over time. But it's probably like my 4th or 5th favorite Star Wars movie. Out of all the 11. There's 11 of them. It's probably like 5 right now, if I were to guess. Because Rogue One, I know, has probably leaped it a little bit. But yeah, so yeah, don't get me wrong. I am a prequel fan as well. So
where are you in Britain, Dr. Mad Studio? I'm in Scotland.
Jango Fett was my favorite character. Yeah, go ahead, Ryan.
I played the hell out of Bounty Hunter on PS2. I even had a jetpack of him when I went to primary school. Yeah, I played that game too. It was awesome.
Yeah, Jango might have been like one of the best parts of that movie. That's a different conversation for tomorrow. Remember, we're on Ryan's channel tomorrow breaking down Attack of the Clones. What else we got here? What's going on? What's going on about Solo?
Well, hello
there.
It's great seeing everybody in the chat.
Hello there.
Impressive. Most impressive.
All right, I don't want to be annoying, but I got a ton of them.
Yeah, everyone has a different ice cream flavor. Yeah. Now I want to watch Star Wars, says Pops and Props. We've been saying this for weeks.
Yep. Yeah, today we're doing these back-to-back days every week until we get the Mando. So every Sunday and Monday, 7 p.m. Sundays are my channel, and Mondays are Ryan's channel. And we're basically going all the way up. I think the only day we're taking off is Super Bowl Sunday. But beside that, every Sunday, Monday, leading all the way up to it, we have a Star Wars Kahoot toward the end of it. We got a few giveaways we'll be doing. And then we'll be live on Wednesdays again, like we were for Willow. We'll be live right after, or not right after, because it's dropped, at 3 a.m. or whatever, Eastern. But we'll be live at 9:00, breaking everything down for each episode. So we're excited for it.
Awesome. Mad Studio says he's in Merseyside, which is in the northwest of England, not far from Liverpool, where the Beatles came from.
Nice. Well, welcome,
I wonder if it was my shirt that pulled him in, because it's my Liverpool Football Club.
Football. Wait,
welcome in.
It's called soccer, right?
Yes, Headless. Correct. Headless.
So all right. So I know. You have anything else about Jar Jar? I know Umpty had mentioned the Sith Lord Jar Jar. If that would have came true, it might have been a lot different. Because there is an amazing video on YouTube. I wish I even knew where it was, but I'm sure if you just do a regular search for it, it is a really, really good video. Some of the stuff is a little far-fetched, but it's a pretty cool video that Of
course you can, Pops and Props. Just put it in the chat, buddy.
Yeah, you can put it. You can always just put them in the chat. Yeah.
If you're here live, you can put it in the chat. But if you think of it during the day or you're watching it at home, you can check the IG posts, and then you'll be able to just send the messages there so you don't forget them.
Yeah,
we'll
so
try and get them up as early as we can Sunday, Monday.
Yeah, I'll put mine up tomorrow morning. So for the Ryan stream. All right. So I mean, beside that, anything else about Jar Jar?
No, I was just checking my questions that people had submitted, and there's nothing about Jar Jar. But there was one thing about C-3PO, but it was when Anakin leaves. So.
Oh, okay. We can get to that. What's up, Kenneth? How you doing, man? Let's move on here. So, as far as let's talk about the opening scene. So we it's cool because we get to see Liam Neeson, and that was a big deal back then. I remember them really, saying, "Oh yeah, Liam Neeson." And I'm trying to remember now. I don't even know if he was in his real popular movies. He was in Darkman. I don't know if you ever see Darkman.
Not sure. I like Liam Neeson though. Had he done Taken by then?
That's what I'm trying to think. I don't remember it when Taken came out, but it was around the same time. If not, Taken might have been after actually.
Had he done Batman by then?
Batman, I don't think so. Batman was more like in the later 2000s.
Because he was Ra's al Ghul, wasn't he, in Batman?
Yeah, and he was great in that. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was in 1990. That's a long time ago. Gosh, we're talking like 24 years ago.
Yeah, these actors are aliens. These actors are aliens. They don't age.
I know, right? And
it's the Illuminati. I've been trying to join for years, but I must be sending it to the wrong place.
Yeah, there's some theories out there for my boy Qui-Gon. So Qui-Gon for me is I think he's one of the best characters in all Star Wars. I think he just was fantastic. I love how he threw out his one-liners. He gave Jar Jar a hard time, and it's funny because when I think about it, I blame Qui-Gon Jinn for a lot that happens in the future. I think if it wasn't for him, we may not even get Darth Vader. So it's hard for me to say that because I like the character so much. But when you think about it, he uses the chance, when he's trying to, when he's trying
blue and red dice.
Yep, he's the one who uses the Force and kind of cheats the chance cube, and that kind of starts it all, And so when you think about
if Anakin really was the chosen one, the chance cube would never have had to come into effect. It would have made it happen.
This is correct, and that's like one of my big issues I have is that. I don't know if is Qui-Gon really that kind of person that he's going to try just to get his way. It's funny because that's like the only scene I feel like he is that way. I mean, he seems like he's a pretty straight shooter, I always thought that was quite odd for his character. We don't, he's only in the one movie. We don't really get to see him much other than that. We actually got to see him in Tales of the Jedi as a younger guy with Dooku. So that was pretty cool. I don't know. I always thought that was really strange that George added that because for me, that is kind of part of the whole thing.
Watching it back, I did feel like he was really adamant on Anakin all the way through. It was as soon as he met Anakin, he was obsessed.
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that he took his blood without his permission or without his mother's permission. Like he just pricked him and said, "Oh, I'm just checking your blood." I was like, dude, it's a bit weird.
Right? I always thought that was just I don't know. To me, I always looked at that as being like the beginning of Darth Vader. Like he's the one who kind of, and then when he died, Obi-Wan wasn't ready. I don't think Obi-Wan. I mean, Obi-Wan is so in this first movie, he's so what's the word I'm looking for? Not juvenile, but so
pubescent.
Yeah, like you could tell he's not ready. Like he's a great warrior, he's a great fighter, but you can tell just in that movie his mind.
His emotions are shrouded by all sorts. He still has feelings for things. Like you saw the no scream when at the end of the movie. If you weren't detached, you probably wouldn't have made that kind of noise. It was an emotional grunt. But yeah, that's going way ahead. But yeah. I get where you're going.
No, but yeah, it's just like, and then when
Anthony Blaze.
When Oh yeah, definitely. Liam Neeson's one of my favorite actors, probably, and that's probably why I like Qui-Gon so much.
And that's
But
why the name of this episode, as we started this saga, is a line from Qui-Gon. The ability to speak does not make you intelligent. And he says it to the most hated character of Ned Stark's, Jar Jar Binks.
This is correct. And it's funny too, because as much as I like, so like Obi-Wan Kenobi, this is a weird one for me because I absolutely love Ewan McGregor. I just don't like Obi-Wan Kenobi in this movie. I really don't. I do like him in Revenge of the Sith. I'm not even a huge Obi-Wan Kenobi for the first half of Attack of the Clones. I don't know. To me, he doesn't seem like Alec Guinness until we get to Revenge of the Sith, or even when he gets to Camino. Like when he's on Camino, and pretty much from Camino on, I can see it, and I get they're trying to show growth in the character a little bit, but I don't know. I was always a little bit confused until that, because I always felt like it didn't seem like Alec Guinness's, like his personality and his just his demeanor, I guess.
Yeah, no.
But again,
I'm a massive Ewan McGregor fan, and we all know I'm not new to Star Wars, but I'm new to the lore and learning about it and understanding it from a standpoint of the beginning to the end. But I've always loved Ben Kenobi in the older movies. Like I love that dude, and it hurts when things happen to him in the movies, and it's like, Ewan McGregor's cool, but he's still going. We just had the new Obi-Wan show, he's still going. So maybe it won't hurt as much if he was to die now, but he's not going to, is he? Because he has to get all the way to Ben Kenobi. So yeah, and that's a conversation for maybe the last one before Mando, about like the future of Star Wars. And I dropped the video a couple weeks ago saying like this is what I would do. They're in a rough place right now, because we already know everything's leading toward the sequels. They have the opportunity to switch this around. They have the chance to do it. I just don't think they're going to do it. I mean, now when you're telling me that the next movie is going to be coming after the sequels, like that doesn't tell me you're trying to. I don't know. I just feel like they have an opportunity here to use the World Between Worlds from Rebels, and they can do whatever they want, and they have to know people are not happy with those 3 movies. But I don't know. But again, that's yeah. It's gone crazy, guys. You're crazy in chat tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Actually picked it up on Etsy. I see you guys talking about Etsy. That's where I picked them up at.
Dr. Mad Studio says in 1999 was a brilliant year for me, not just seeing the Phantom Menace, but also went to Legoland Windsor where they first opened. The entrance had these giant Lego structures of R2-D2 and Darth Vader.
Yeah. That's cool.
Very nice. And I like the logo as well, with Yoda with a knife.
It might be cat's paw. We're not sure.
Yeah.
All right. So, any questions for Qui-Gon or Obi-Wan that we're kind of talking about them?
Let me check the Instagram. No, but we do have a question about midichlorians, and that does come from those 2 characters, that conversation.
Yeah.
So
yeah, go ahead, shoot.
So the question we have from Funko, thank you very much for submitting a question, was, do you like the addition of midichlorians to the Star Wars lore?
What's funny, because this is the only movie they talk about them. Again, I don't know. I don't really like it. I think it's weird. And it's never mentioned any other place in Star Wars. This is the only time it's ever mentioned. And I do almost feel like it will, because George had say in the Clone Wars, right? So why would he not bring it back up at some point? Like if he liked that idea that much, why didn't he never bring it back up? It was, I always thought it was weird. I don't know. And I get that you have to have something to be able to use the Force and stuff. But I mean, there's so many examples about these characters possibly being able to, use the Force, and it's just, we never hear about it again. I guess that's the most frustrating part for me.
I
think it's dumb, I guess.
I purely assumed it was just like a ranking score for the stronger Jedis and the weaker ones. So like the higher the midichlorian count would be Yoda with the, because they do say, don't they, he has a higher midichlorian count than yourself, Yoda.
Right, and I think I think really in the movie it was made to be a plot device, just so there was a reason why they wanted to get Anakin to come with them so badly. I really think that's because for what other reason would there be? You know, he was a human that was going to be able to race pods. He's the only human that can do it. Like that's enough to tell us that, okay, so he's special. Like to go and get a blood test and find out the midichlorian count. It's just, I thought it was strange. I don't know. I thought it was weird.
Okay.
I was not a fan of it, so, but that's a good question.
Yeah, you know, I didn't know what they were. I just assumed it was like a ranking thing, you know.
It's just this, you know, plasma or something in your bloodstream that allows you to become a Force user. You know, and you know, to go back to, if we go to like the Force Awakens, you know, like everyone thinks Finn is somewhat could be could possibly be able to be a Force user, and you know, we never really get to see it because they butchered those movies so badly. But yeah, and you know, then we see Broom Boy at the end of The Last Jedi. We don't really know anything there, and I don't know. I just never really cared for that whole thing.
Okay. Well, thank you, Fungo, for the question.
That's a good question, though.
Yeah, that's all I have for those characters at the moment.
Dr. Mad, yeah, you know, I've heard it's a really good one, a really good horror novel. Because like, yeah, the Death Troopers, it's in heaven with zombies. Yeah, I've heard about it. I've heard it's really good.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's the kind of stuff we need. But they're talking about in Ahsoka, bringing some dead alive or something in there, which I think would be pretty cool. They need to do something different. We need something different, you know.
So I want to get like, I think it was funny. I was watching it and I was getting distracted with like the droids at the beginning, because like he just pushes them over with the Force, and I'm like, how is that then broken? Like, do they not just get back up?
I know.
And like they're blasters and they're shooting all this, and there's not a single scratch mark on any of the sides. There's no smoke coming off, no droids. I'm like, what's going on? And then you've got the two Viceroy guys in there, and they're going, it's impossible. And then he goes through the door, and as he's going through the door with the lightsaber, it cuts to them. And am I wrong in saying this? But are they not watching the holograph on the same door that they're having attacked?
Yeah, they are.
So where's the red glow? Where's
Yeah,
you know what I'm like for continuity and things. I see little things.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. It's, you know,
but it's cool. You know, I just like pointing these things
cool. I mean, it's a different way to use a lightsaber. We've never seen it before. You know, unfortunately, that's part of what I think the Phantom Menace suffers from is that I think George tried to do so much that he wanted to like do in the originals, but he just didn't have the technology to do it. And this is why we have so many characters that are CGI. You know, the Viceroy, or whatever his name is, and you know, all those guys, and the Gungans and Boss Nass, and it's in the, you know, obviously the battle droids are CGI. It's just everything is CGI except for like, you know, the 15 or 20 actors that are actually in the movie. And I think it just got overboard. But you're right, the battle droids. I mean, the battle droids were fine. It was kind of cool.
It just made me laugh.
Oh yeah, and you know, and then going back to like Jar Jar, the battle droids are almost like comedic in the movie, and that I didn't mind. Like I actually find that really super funny, and maybe it's because this links back to C-3PO, where I always thought that the droids are more of the, you know, the comic relief. I didn't feel like we needed anybody else. I mean, like think of Chewbacca. Like Chewbacca was never comic relief. Chewie was just a badass, and he just, you know, he once in a while he growled, and you know.
I think Chewbacca was left up to the viewer's discretion, and you made up what he was saying in your own head, and then that determined whether it was funny or not, because he could be telling Han to do one, or he could be, you know, cheering, "Let's go!" But you know, really, he's like,
and like, and honestly, like to me, like I almost feel like Han Solo to a point was some comic relief. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Han busted out a lot of good jokes, you know. So I mean, you know, Lando to a point. I don't know. I just feel like we did not need to have Jar Jar, but now we're going back. We're going back instead of forward. So yeah, the battle.
Well, that's what the Star Wars stuff does anyway. So it's perfect for us.
That's true. I remember collecting like all the Phantom Menace characters, like the Hasbro little 3 3/4 figures, and I remember the battle droids. They had 4 different battle droids, and they were all just a little bit different, shaded a little different, have like a battle scar or something. Dude, I went crazy trying to find all 4 of those. I ended up getting all of them.
So
but,
those rolling balls.
Yeah, those are the what are they called? The destroyers.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah,
I love those things. Is that structure patented by Star Wars? Because I'm super surprised. Have you seen BattleBots?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm super surprised nobody's come up with like a robotic version of that you can drive around, or like fighting the robots in the arenas, because that thing works. I know you're here, Anthony. I seen you earlier. How you doing, buddy?
Yes,
I love those things. Yeah, I just love those balls.
Yeah, destroyers are pretty cool.
Big memory thing in my head.
And they're literally the only thing in the movie besides Darth Maul that actually gives the Jedi like any kind of issue, because they slice through everything else basically, you know. But so let's talk. So let's talk about Darth Maul a little bit. So the first time we get to see him, I think he's in the hologram, and he kind of shows up out of nowhere next to Sidious. So after that, we kind of see that he lands on Tatooine. Again, he doesn't get much screen time. I know there's another scene that he's walking with Palpatine. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on Darth Maul?
It was ominous. It looked sinister. His face.
There it is.
It definitely stood out. Thought he was a really cool looking dude. He definitely portrayed the feel of evil just by looking at him. He didn't, and his speech as well. Although he doesn't speak very much. And there's a cool payoff later on with the lightsaber thing, because you don't, when you first see him with a lightsaber, he's only got the one. So yeah, it's pretty
I always
cool.
like that. That was cool.
Oh, I love it. One of the best payoffs in the movie.
Yeah.
Because it's the music as well. It's the I don't know the name of the song. Is it Duel of Fates?
Duel of Fates. Yeah.
Wow, I am pretty knowledgeable then.
Yeah. To me, that's the best. That's the best music in Star Wars right there.
Mm-hmm. The Duel of Fates just kicks in as the double lightsaber engages it. It's like, oh, that's sweet editing.
Yeah, he to a point, I do like that he didn't talk too much, because it did make him more mysterious. It just kind of does think that we didn't get to see him too much, and then he ends up, just perishing. And as much as I do like Count Dooku, I still like Maul better. So I wish they were almost reversed the way they were in the films. But it
would have been pretty cool seeing a giant spider robot running through the deserts of Tatooine. Would it not? Probably would have made it even worse then, probably.
I don't know if they could have done. I don't know if they could have managed that in live action, because it gets a little crazy. But it is good that they brought that character back, because I think everyone was like, "What? He's dead? He's not coming back?" And then like years later, they bring him back anyways. So, but yeah, Maul was always one of my favorites.
Maul's brilliant. So, are you able to? Do you know what his fighting style is?
Man, all right, putting me on the spot for these fighting styles. It's funny. I used to know all this. That I don't know.
Okay. No, I don't know either. No, I don't know. Just because I've heard other people talk about it. I know that Mace has a unique one, and a couple of other people. So,
looking it up right now. Darth Maul's fighting style it's called Classic Juo. Juyo. Juo.
Okay. It's all hippie flippy stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I might do a video on all these fighting styles. There's a ton. I mean, they have so many, and the great Ray Park portrays him, and he's he's absolutely amazing in that too. Because I mean, that dude is so athletic, and he knows all that stuff. Mace Windu specialized in the 7th form of lightsaber combat, aka Juo, so he's very similar, which is interesting because I don't see him doing flips, but
Yeah, he can also absorb the dark energy of the Sith and reverse it back onto them.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty cool stuff. That's just me doing homework, listening to live streams.
Yeah.
Patrick, thank you for stopping in. I appreciate you being here. We'll catch you tomorrow, and if not, we'll be live again next Sunday.
Absolutely. And we'll be live at 10:15 tonight.
Yeah,
exactly. We're doing 2 lives on Sundays for the next I don't know however many episodes of this is the Last of Us is dropping tonight. So yeah, when we get out of here, we're gonna go watch that, and we'll be back. Yeah. All right.
Everybody, please connect to it. Please connect to everybody else in the chat as well. You know, I can see everyone's been having good conversations with each other. So definitely check each other's channels out and connect to each other. You know, we're all about sharing the love here. So yeah, and don't forget to hit the like button on your way out.
Absolutely. So here, give me another question. We have a few more. So let's fire through these questions here.
Why did Anakin leave his droid behind with his mother? That was from Pop in Missouri.
Yeah, so Charles, he I just don't think he knew if he was gonna be able to bring him or not. He wasn't finished anyways, and I guess in his eyes, he probably just wanted to leave the droid there to help his mother, because that's pretty much why he was making him, was to help his mom. So I'm pretty sure that's pretty much all it is. Probably number one, help his mom. Number two, he probably figured since he's going to train to become a Jedi, and again, he's a kid, he probably doesn't think he's like, oh, I gotta just do this. I'm not gonna have time to work on droids. So I think between those two reasons, that's pretty much why he leaves them there.
Okay. Well, thank you, Charles, for your question. We appreciate it. We have another one about Darth Maul from Nadia.
Okay.
Nadia Little Monster from Instagram. She goes, why do you think we don't see Darth Maul a lot in the movie?
One
Nadia
more time.
Has literally joined.
Yeah, she just
question is being asked live.
Yeah.
That's awesome timing. So Nadia's question on Instagram was, why do you think we don't see Darth Maul a lot in the movie?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of just talked about that a little bit. I just think they wanted to keep him very, it was almost like a secret. I mean, we get two small. Well, we get the one small fighting scene, then we get the larger scene. I think he only, if I remember correctly, he only has like 5 scenes in the entire movie. One of them was on hologram. One he's walking with Palpatine. We have the end. And then we have him fighting Qui-Gon, and then we have the other one where he's on the desert with his little ship, sending out the droids. Yeah, I mean, that's all we really get of him. I think that the main focus in the movie wasn't so much supposed to be on Darth Maul. I think he was just there to have like a sweet lightsaber battle, to be honest with you. And I think people just took to him so well. That's why they ended up bringing him back. And I really think that George wanted to really focus in on the political aspects of the galaxy at this time. And kind of, I mean, I think everyone who saw the original trilogy pretty much knew that Senator Palpatine was Sidious. Like, I don't think it was any big surprise. But they do a good enough job, like where if you've never watched Star Wars, I don't think you put it together in the first one. Maybe at the very last scene when they pan in on him. But that's pretty much it.
I knew, and I still kind of forgot. Like I was out of the knowledge world, and I was enjoying the movie. And when you just enjoy the movie and be in that 3D space, it is very subtle.
Yeah.
Even at the very last shot, I think it cuts away, and it's just his grimacing face, and then it fades to black. I don't know if you noticed that at the very end. The black screen comes up, and just as it gets to his lips, he smiles, and then it hides.
Yep. And then he makes that comment too earlier to Anakin about following his career with great interest. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think by the end of the movie, you definitely know even if you didn't didn't know before that, but yeah. So yeah, man, dude, if you could ever get a chance to go to Star Wars Celebration, I highly recommend it. I've been to 2 of them. And maybe besides San Diego Comic-Con, I probably have the most fun at those cons. They're not as big.
Elon Musk needs to do one in space. Elon Musk needs to do a Star Wars Celebration in space with all his Tesla machines. He could just do an upgrade to all the Teslas, and eventually they just turn to rocket machines and go woo. That's what I think. But yeah. A Star Wars Celebration would be amazing.
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Welcome to the wacky world of Milky's head. It's the stuff that comes into my head at
My
random
man,
points.
my man lives in England, and he can't even afford to go to the London one. But you want him to go to space?
But it'd be cool though, wouldn't it? I bet everyone would, all the Star Wars fans would find tickets to go to the one in space.
As long as it's not like the Star Wars hotel. That's, I guess, just an utter disaster right now.
Yeah.
I've seen some videos. Dude, they again, just something else that Disney butchered. Like this complete. I don't know what they're doing. Dude, this is why I need to run Lucasfilm. Disney, call me. All right,
we have some more questions. We have 3 from Baby Ice. We have 3 more, and they're all from Baby Ice.
All right, go for it.
Baby Ice 9119 on Instagram sent a message in and said, "What is your favorite part of the Phantom Menace?"
So, I mean, I'd be hard pressed not to say the ending with Maul and Obi-Wan, because that honestly, like when I was growing up, like we liked the lightsaber fights, but like when you see that, and again, we really haven't seen anything between 83 and 99. Dude, that was like I just remember sitting with my friends. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like since when do they jump around and do flips? Like we see Luke do a flip or two, but it's not like that. So I mean that's probably my favorite part. But I love the pod race too. I think it's really well done. I love you get the Tusken Raiders in there. They actually affect the race a little bit. Jabba.
I just stole my answer. My answer is the pod race.
Yeah, I mean, the pod race is fun. Sebulba, Sebulba. Sebulba. It's like that character I don't mind because it's not so over the top like Jar Jar. Like I like that character.
Why haven't we got a Jedi that's like Sebulba, like the same species? That would be sick. The way he walks on his hands like he does. Imagine him with lightsabers, like
Well, I think we're supposed to be getting a Wookiee Jedi in Bad Batch. I think that's
wow.
I think that's where we're supposed to be getting a Wookiee Jedi.
A Wookiee is
Chewbacca.
Chewie. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Baby Ice asked another one. She goes, "If you could have changed any part of the movie, what would it be and why?"
I mean, okay, listen, I'm not going to give you the easy answer. The easy answer is just take Jar Jar Binks and Boss Nass and the whole Gungan thing out of the movie. Like, and I understand they needed somebody to come help, but I feel like it could have been better. But that's the easy answer for me because that's the part of the movie I hate the most. I think the thing I would have changed the most would have been probably, I might get criticized for this one a little bit, but I don't really like young Anakin. I don't see there's not like a negative or dark part of his body. Like, and all of a sudden, like 10 years later, he's already becoming negative. I wish they would explain that more. Like, I understand he doesn't believe in some of the stuff the Jedi believe in, which comes kind of from, Qui-Gon. But again, I mean, how much time did he really spend with Qui-Gon in the long run? Did
he not have to strip away all his emotions for his family?
He did.
And so that could have turned him sour.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
look at teenagers when they've got loving parents, and when you haven't got that because you've been pulled away from it, maybe you would have gone. I don't know. I like Anakin, but I don't dislike him. I dislike him more in 2. I love him in 3.
Yeah. Hayden does a great job in 3. My biggest problem with 2 is, and I don't even want to talk about that because we're talking about that.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I know. Yeah, but because it's just a kid. I don't really have
I
don't
just
really
thought
have a thought on him as a kid.
I just thought, like as a kid, being a slave with his mom, and I mean, I don't know.
He's too trusting. He took them back to his home and said, "Hey, Mom, look, I've just got new friends.
Yeah,
they're in my house." Like,
I just thought it was a little strange. I don't know. I wish they would have made him. I don't want to say darker. I don't want him to be dark because obviously you need the character development. It's just so like. Honestly, he reminds me of the same character that kid plays in Jingle All the Way. It's the same kid, Jake Lloyd. It's the same kid.
No, it's not.
Yeah, Jingle All the Way. The son. It's the same kid. And maybe
you just blew my mind.
Yep. And maybe that's part of my problem is that I see him as the same character. Like he literally is playing the same character. And again, I don't mean to like rag on the actor. Again, he's just doing what George wanted, but I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. But yeah.
The reason why I hate Jingle All the Way is because of that kid. Everything about the movie is fantastic except for that kid.
He's annoying. I know. And again, I feel bad. I don't want to rag on Jake Lloyd. I really don't. But
wow.
I'm just a kid that doesn't like you. Oh, again, it's hard because like I know it's not the human being, and this is the thing that people always.
It's the character. Yeah, that's what I say about Jar
Like
Jar.
When people hate on Rose Tico, it's not Kelly Marie Tran that we're hating on. You know, like I hate, dude. Like on my live the other night when I was streaming Lego Star Wars, dude, I was sitting there making fun of DJ the entire time. Freaking hate that character, man. This is the worst. Why is he stuttering for? It's so stupid. It's honestly, dude. It's like in Revenge of the Sith. Why does General Grievous have to have a cold? Like, what is going on? It's horrible. Like these are the small things that drive me absolutely nuts with some of these movies. It's like these little stupid quirks. Like, why? Like, I didn't see Spock ever having a cough. You know, I don't know. It's just some weird stuff, man. I don't know. But
well, we do have one final question from Baby Ice 9119 on Instagram, and she says, "If you could be any character in the movie, who would you be and why?" In the Phantom Menace.
In the Phantom Menace, that's a good question. That is a good question. I'm going to say, I'm probably going to say Qui-Gon. I like Qui-Gon. Why? I just think because he's not easily persuaded, and he does see flaws in the Jedi, which there clearly are flaws. In Mace Windu in this movie, I can't stand him either. I think he's terrible. He doesn't have much screen time anyways. He obviously gets better as a character, but he's so dry and just so like dead serious. Like that's almost over to the top seriousness with him.
For me, it's easy. I'd be Watto because he's the closest thing to a dragon.
There you go. You heard it here first. The first person ever to say, I want to be Watto. He's got wings.
Yeah, he's got wings. He's the closest thing to a dragon. Was that not obvious? You all know me.
Cruz had the Bantha flu.
Bantha flu.
It's so stupid. Why is he coughing? I hated that so much. We'll get to that next weekend, but that's definitely my worst. That's my least favorite part of that movie. Why is he cough? It's so stupid, dude. It's so stupid. I don't understand. They never explained it. Again, maybe it was explained in a comic book. I don't know. I don't remember them ever doing anything in the Clone Wars with him, but I don't know. Whatever.
I'm going to refresh the Instagram post just to see if there's any more. There isn't, so I want to thank everybody for submitting questions this week. Be sure to check out Headless's post tomorrow and submit some onto his.
Yeah, those were some good questions. Appreciate that. Yeah, Chad, if you have any questions or anything, we're probably going to go another 5 minutes or so. We kind of want to keep these around an hour because we know other people in the community are going live and are live. And since we're doubling up tonight, we want to make sure we kind of keep these within an hour for our reviews. I don't know. So first movie that we watched, what do you think? What would you give this movie out of 10? What do you think?
6.
6 out of 10. It's pretty low. Why? Why do you think it's only a 6? Like
it's a slow builder. It doesn't really. Nothing happens.
Yeah. It's slow on Tatooine. You know, it's like imagine if they didn't even have that little scene with Darth Maul. Like literally, beside the pod race, it takes a long time. It's more than half the movie. You know,
we start in space because something's going on down here. Then we go down here to find out that they've got to go from here to this desert island to hide the princess lady, to then come back to here to fight Darth Maul, and then it's the end.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we didn't really go anywhere. I like the introduction of Tatooine. It was a pretty cool, place like that. And I think we also get to see Coruscant for the first time in this movie.
We do, yeah. And Coruscant's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's like Mecca to me because I'm a massive city fan. I want to be in the city. So that place would that's where I would live. But yeah, I give it a 6 because there's room for improvement, and I know what's coming.
Yeah. It's hard. I'm hard pressed to give Star Wars anything bad because I love all of them so much. Well, except for a couple. But I usually, like, when people ask me to rank the movies and stuff, I usually don't rank them much lower than like a 7. There's a couple that I will. But for me, is a starting point, and because of Darth Maul, I always because I love that character because of Qui-Gon Jinn. Those two alone help me boost it up a little bit. And it is cool to see like some of the galactic politics and stuff, although some of it's a little confusing sometimes. So I remember I had to watch it a few times, but again, I was also in my 20s. I probably didn't care that much about it. I didn't know where they were going with it. But yeah, I say this is probably like around a 6.5, 7 for me. If Jar Jar Binks is not in this movie, it's probably like closer to like an 8. But he affects this movie so much for me that I just sometimes I hate watching it because of him. And I will literally watch only the second half because he's not in it as much, except for like the final battle. I
must admit, I will not lie. I skipped the whole underwater chase with the giant fish thing.
Oh, dude, didn't you miss this?
There's always a bigger fish.
Yeah, that was number 10 on my favorite quotes and not number 1. You just muted.
That's literally the only reason why I watched that is just to get that line.
Mm-hmm.
But now I have it, so I don't have to rewatch it anymore. I mean, it's fine. Like the whole Boss Nass part in Gungan City, I could do with all of that.
Doesn't he say they hate Naboo? Isn't the planet called Naboo?
So Gungan City is in the lakes of Naboo, or in the ocean.
But he says we hate the Naboos. We hate the Naboos. They're supposed to be at war with them, but that's the name of the planet. Yeah,
the name of the planet is Naboo, but they don't consider them Nabooians or whatever.
Okay.
They don't consider them that. Yeah, part of that because they're in Gungan. Oh, we have a lot of boo.
Umpty's probably just heard you talking about Jar Jar.
Oh, I was hoping he was booing your score, but maybe not. So chat, throw us up a number out of 10. The Phantom Menace. What would you rank it? Ryan,
we would take your number as a collective for all of you in chat. The first one we see. I'm joking.
Ryan gave it a 6. I'm closer to a 7, 6.5, 7. Again, without Jar Jar, it would be an 8 because I do like that movie a lot. It is one of my favorite ones. It's funny. We'll have to do a ranking video maybe at the very end. Maybe we'll both post that.
Well, I was literally just thinking about that. I'm going to live track my ranking.
Yeah, I'm gonna write it down right now.
So right now it's at 13.
The top. 13. Umpty gives it a 13.
Okay, so collected. Quick Joe says 10.
10 out of 10 for Phantom Menace. Wow. I mean, where are you guys going with these other movies?
Like to space, obviously.
I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to because I know, like you said, I know what's coming, and I know, like, I kind of have an idea where my ranking is in my head. And this is kind of like right in the middle of the pack for me. I probably have 3 movies below it. So
yeah, and I want to prerequisite. I've not seen Rogue One and I've not seen Solo, so we're gonna have fun there because they're completely new to me.
Yep.
So yeah. 13 from Umpty and a 10 from Quick and 7 and a 6. So we could average around a 7.5 to an 8 for the night for the movie collectively.
With the 4 of us, so what's that? That'd be 20, 30, 36 divided by what 4 people voted. So 36 divided. So yeah, about an 8. What is it? How do you say? Ain't even a real star.
That's because the name is forefront. The studio is backlit. The studio cost them a lot more than the name did. So he
That's
put
right.
more money into Star Wars than he did just Game of Thrones. That's why when you come to me, I have more money behind me Game of Thrones, and I only have stoned Yoda slippers. You know?
I get it quick. Yep, I get it. And like I said, I remember. So like, it's funny. Before we get out of here, so here's the story. This is why I do like this movie, because it got me talking about Star Wars again. So back when the movie was out, I was working at a restaurant, and in the back of the restaurant, we would have we just had a whiteboard where we would write down like our specials of the night or whatever. So I would come in and I would just erase it because I didn't care. I'm like, if you can't memorize it, you probably shouldn't be a server here. And so I would just erase it. And the whole night, there's about 3 or 4 of us that were pretty big Star Wars fans. We would literally just constantly write down questions about the Phantom Menace. And whoever answered it correctly, then they got to erase it and put their own question. And we literally would do that. We did it for weeks after we saw Phantom Menace. So that was kind of fun. Like we would come up with so many different theories and stuff. It was fun.
Are you a one and done kind of guy at the movie theaters, or do you go back multiple times?
Oh, for Star Wars?
For the same movie, do you go back multiple times?
Star Wars, and yeah. So Star Wars usually I would get tickets, and I did this for every Star Wars movie. Probably going back to the prequels. I would see the movie on opening night, which would be usually for us like that Thursday night or whatever. And then I would also buy tickets for the following Friday night. So I would go back-to-back nights. And then typically I would see it the following weekend. So usually Star Wars I see 3 times in the theater. I can honestly say, though, the only one I did not do that with was The Rise of Skywalker. I saw it twice. I could not do it again. So,
okay.
Yeah, all the other ones we did. Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
I genuinely would be hard to give you a single movie I've watched more than once at the cinema.
Okay. Yeah, I would say the ones, I mean, all Star Wars, Endgame, Infinity War, the original Hunger Games, like the first one, we saw like 4 times in the theater. I love that movie.
I've never seen those.
You never saw? Oh, the original Hunger Games is really good.
Yeah, I'm saving them for a first time react.
Yeah, they're good. And I know Avatar, the first Avatar. Mm-hmm. Besides that, I mean, probably that. I mean, it's really got to be a blockbuster. Like, honestly, I'm surprised I didn't go back and see Top Gun Maverick a second time because I really enjoyed that movie. But again, it's funny, man. Like, they come on TV so quick now, you really don't have to do it. Like, Top Gun Maverick's already on Paramount Plus. Like, I mean, you can watch it if you want.
Pulling one from the back of my head that I think it was Final Destination 4.
4.
Is it the one at the movie theater where the movie theater collapses, and it's the weird, the moving staircases, the elevator stairs, whatever you call them, escalators?
Which one's the roller coaster one? Is that 3?
I'm not sure, but it was one of. I think I watched that twice, and I watched the Saw movies a couple of times at the theater too.
Oh, dude, Saw is good stuff. Dude, Saw, I got theories on stuff. Saw, man. I love Saw. I used to watch it. I used to watch all those every Halloween. Like the week leading up to Halloween, I usually would watch one at night. And again, that's something I haven't done in a long time. But
that's why we're here, and that's for the horizon. We can look at stuff like that in the future.
What's up, Dad?
Sorry to take Star Wars on a stupid tangent for movies that aren't connected, but yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
you would watch it a couple of times. The last movie I saw was Spider-Man: No Way Home. Okay. Hey, Tats. Carolina, Chris, welcome in. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Star Wars movies, I always see back-to-back nights because the first time I see it, I kind of want to just watch it as what it is, and then the second time, I kind of like I try to think of like a deep dive and thinking of lore and how they're connecting things. But the first time I see it, I just kind of want to just watch it. I don't want to have to think so much, That's one of the main reasons.
And that must be like the mega diehard fans that are there at that time of night, right? Like midnight viewings.
Well, they don't even do that anymore, dude. Like the first showing is usually like Thursday night at like maybe like when these movies came out, it was midnight. Because I remember going to the theater, we got there at 9, and this is before you could pick your own seats. This is we got there like at 9:00 and waited in line for like 2 hours. Then we finally let us into the theater at 11 p.m. and then we sat there for another hour waiting for the movie to start.
I use public transport, so if I went to the movie theater at midnight, I wouldn't be able to get home until till 7:00 the next morning.
Yeah, but
I'd be
now
stoked.
you can go see these movies at like
Mhm.
6, 7.
Yeah.
The first ones are 6 or 7 now, so it's different. Because they figured out they can make more money on opening night if they print them out a little earlier instead of waiting.
I wish they would just release everything to online. Like, I get that some movies like Avatar and stuff are made for the theaters and stuff, but
Yeah.
like everybody has these massive TVs in their homes now that are sometimes better than what some movie theaters used to have. So just drop it. You know, if you want to pay for the privilege of having it at home, you should be able to get it at home on the same day that it's at the movie theater. And it still counts in towards ticket sales and box office sales, all that kind of stuff, you know?
So you're saying you would just pay the regular ticket price without going to the theater just to be able to watch it at home?
Hell yes. On the first day that it comes out, I would pay the however much it is to have it. Yeah.
Yeah.
15 bucks, I would pay
My wife would do the same thing. She would rather just watch movies here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like going to the theater, like you said, for the bigger movies. Because honestly, like we used to go all the time, and then COVID hit, obviously, and then I mean, Chris is saying
it's not even about the expense for me. It's about it's just, if I want to go back because I misheard something, you can't. If I want to go to the break, if I want to go to the toilet, you miss something.
Yeah, I know.
You've got other people talking on their phones. It's just so not the right place to watch a movie for me, you know, unless it's a private screening, which you don't get that these days. So I would much rather be in my own comfort at my own home, you know.
Yeah.
Like, just to go on a weird tangent, I watched something on Amazon Prime this weekend, and it was fantastic. I'm not going to reveal what it is because it's going to be something I'm working on. But did you know that when you pause something on Amazon Prime, there is this thing called X-ray, and whoever is on the screen at the moment that you pause, it gives you character names, person playing them.
Yeah,
it gives you the details of everybody on screen. I didn't. I freaked out this weekend when I paused it, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And then I was going through pausing it at random points to see if I could catch it out, but it worked. But yeah, sorry to go on a weird tangent, but yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah,
I would much prefer to watch it at home.
Yeah, I hear you. I get it. I get that. Yeah, because like we have Cinemark by us, so it's basically for at least in my area, it's basically Regal, Cinemark, and I mean those are probably the big two. And so Regal has the IMAX, where Cinemark has what they call XD, which is basically the same thing, but it's their own version. I like the XD better because I think the sound is actually better, and that's why I like Avatar was like the last movie we went to see. Mm-hmm. So we enjoyed that on there. But again, it was 3D, so we had to wear the stupid glasses, and I hate that. Although it looks great, it does. The 3D is amazing how they do that. But I can do it
in the cinema in the city. We have an 8D cinema screen.
8D?
You get wet. There's wind. It gets warm. It moves around.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah,
and it's like wow, and it's super expensive. It's like $30 a ticket. And I just came up with a reason as to why they won't give us movies at home, because I pay $7.99 and then invite 10 people home to watch it with me. They've lost out on 10 viewers. It's $7.99 per seat. So I don't know how they would work that.
That's a good point.
These TVs have smart views now, so they could probably see that there's 3 people in the room. There's 3 tickets being bought for the movie. You know,
that is a good point, though. Yeah,
it is a good point. Yeah, because I could literally charge $5 at the door, and 20 people come home and watch it. You know, I've made a fortune, and I've paid for my $7.99 ticket price.
Yeah, that's probably why. But all right, well, this has been a review of the Phantom Menace, and tomorrow we'll be live on Ryan's channel breaking down Attack of the Clones, and we'll be live here again in about 2 hours or so, breaking down the first episode of The Last of Us. So watch it, come on back, tell us what you think. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for the series. I hope it's good. I think it's going to be good. And I like I was telling you earlier, I just downloaded the game, so I'm actually excited to kind of start playing it because I've never played it before.
I'm going to remain optimistically hopeful because I know what's coming or what should be coming. And I'm just going to sit quietly. I'm going to be here talking about it and giving you all my thoughts, but yeah, I'm not going to get too hyped up right now. because these shows have a thing of doing these things to me, you know. And I've read on the internet that this has got 100% Rotten Tomato score, and I'm like, okay. So did Human Centipede, I think. So we'll see.
Never saw that.
No,
I had no
it's
interest in
it's good, but it's disgusting. So can't watch it. Don't have HBO. Quick draw. Instagram me.
Instagram.
Cool. Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown, and we will see you guys in a little bit. And hey, don't forget, stay milky.
Yeah, and don't forget, guys, don't forget to keep those heads on.
That's right. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
See you later.